Hey everybody, Rob Maurer here, and today we are talking about what might be the next big thing for Tesla in China. We've also got some interesting news on Tesla and how they utilize navigation and mapping data, possibly some major battery news, a report on Tesla's solar roof, and more. Not too much going on with the stock again today. Tesla tracking with the NASDAQ both up about 0.7%, Tesla closing at $195.28. Quickly looking ahead to tomorrow, we will get the Personal Consumption Expenditures Report, or PCE report, in the morning. That'll be before market open, but reminder that is for February, so the data at this point a little bit old. This would be before everything happened with the banks, but still will be watched closely. And then of course tomorrow is the last day of the quarter, so I'll go through my delivery and production expectations, and then we'll head into the weekend, most likely expecting that report late in the morning on Sunday. Alright, let's get right into some possibly very exciting news for Tesla in China. I think Tesla Chan on Twitter spotting this first. On LinkedIn, Tesla has posted a job opening for an engineering program manager for energy storage in Shanghai. The description says that Tesla's energy engineering group is looking for a highly motivated individual to program manage new design engineering projects for the Megapack program. So of course we know about the Megafactory in Lathrop scaling up to 40 gigawatt hours per year of energy storage products. It looks like Tesla may have similar, maybe even more ambitious plans for the production of energy storage products in China. There have been rumors for a while now about Tesla maybe making a Megafactory there. And although this wouldn't quite be confirmation of that, it definitely would be the strongest hint that we have had so far. Thinking about a possible Megafactory in Shanghai, and then putting that together with a couple of pieces of Tesla history that we have, which would be one, the ramp up that we have seen on the Megafactory in Lathrop, happening quite quickly, and then two, the history of Giga Shanghai and how quickly that ramp happened for automotive. Those things make it extremely exciting to think about how quickly Tesla could possibly ramp up energy storage production in China. We've already seen really great growth for Tesla Energy, 65% compound annual growth rate since 2016. This is starting to form a really nice beginning of an S-curve, but as Tesla said at Investor Day, just the beginning. That growth hardly looks like anything at all compared to where Tesla is planning on going pretty quickly. And as we have talked about, the beautiful thing here with Tesla Energy is that so much of the operational costs for this business are covered by Tesla's auto business. Obviously, there are going to be some incremental operating expenses, but a lot of that gross profit then from Tesla Energy doesn't even need to be that good of gross margin. A lot of that can flow down to the bottom line. So hopefully with this job posting, we're not too far off from hearing more about Tesla's official plans for their next Megafactory, or maybe their next couple. There's also a rumor going around, Chris Jong on Twitter posting about this last night, and I've seen this in a couple of places, probably not related, but a rumor that Elon will be visiting China next weekend. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if anything comes of that. All right, next up, we've got a pretty big report from Bloomberg. They are reporting on Tesla and CATL being in discussions about building a possible battery factory in the United States together. Bloomberg says that in recent days, Tesla has been having discussions with the White House about this possibility and seeking clarity on the implications from the Inflation Reduction Act on a project like this, whether that's EV credits or battery production credits. Bloomberg says that Tesla is hoping to pursue a similar setup to what we had talked about between Ford and CATL back in February. That was where Ford was going to invest $3.5 billion to build a lithium iron phosphate battery factory in Michigan, leveraging CATL for their knowledge and technology, while the factory would still be wholly owned by Ford. So that is slated for initial production in 2026, with a planned capacity of about 35 gigawatt hours per year. So from Bloomberg's reporting, Tesla would be pursuing a similar setup where it would be wholly owned by Tesla, licensing technology from CATL, presumably for lithium iron phosphate or some of the newer similar technology that CATL has been working on. And although a location is not finalized, it sounds like they are considering Texas. So that's about all we know at this point in time, but obviously Tesla could be using these batteries for energy storage, stuff that we had just talked about, certainly vehicles as well, and Tesla has been clear that although they are working on their own battery production with 4680s, they want to continue to leverage battery supply from these suppliers. Sounds like this would be a little bit of a hybrid of both, not too dissimilar from the setup with Panasonic at Giga Nevada. Hopefully Tesla gets some of the clarity that they're looking for from the White House and can quickly move forward on this. We're still waiting on those guidelines that are supposed to happen before the end of March, which we are quickly approaching. All right, next up, we've got some pretty interesting information from Green the Only on Twitter today about how Tesla is using some of their fleet and data collection capabilities to improve things like navigation and mapping. So Green was taking a look at how Tesla handles alternative routing in the navigation system. And it's not quite as simple as Tesla just grabbing a suggestion from Google Maps. They might take Google Maps information and then they layer on Tesla Maps information to make some of those decisions. But that's not all they're doing. The Tesla vehicles are also asking the Tesla Maps database, according to Green, for things like what parking lot outlines are at certain locations, what else needs to be known for the route that the Tesla is going to navigate, which can include things like stop sign locations, crosswalk information, lane information, things that Tesla can probably get some of from Google Maps, but when Tesla's got this massive fleet that is driving around constantly, they should be able to build a much better database, and it does seem like that is something that Tesla is doing, which I'm thrilled to see. I've always kind of wondered why Tesla hasn't been doing this, but it looks like they have. You don't want to become reliant on maps, but they can definitely give you information that makes solving this incredibly challenging problem a little bit easier, and probably a little bit safer as well. I think Tesla historically has kind of confused people talking negatively towards HD maps. It's not exactly what we're talking about here. This would be more of kind of metadata, but I think over time, as this gets more and more robust, probably approaches more into that type of territory. And as we had already talked about with Hardware 4, seemingly including a much more precise and robust GPS system, this type of stuff should only get better over time. One of the really cool things about this is that Green says this seems to be updating in nearly real time. One of the elements there is speed. So very much a Waze-like system where Tesla can get really great traffic flow information from the fleet, which obviously improves naturally as the fleet grows. So some pretty cool stuff here. Green shared a couple of photos of that code showing that it is coming from Tesla telemetry data. And right now, Tesla probably just kind of scratching the surface of the types of things that this can eventually lead to. All right, next up, we've got a report on the Tesla solar roof from CNBC today. They are citing research from Wood Mackenzie that says that Tesla has only installed 3,000 solar roof systems in the US since launching the technology. Where Wood Mackenzie got this information from and why they and CNBC are so confident that it's correct, I'm not sure. But Tesla Solar on Twitter today replying to the article and saying that this is incorrect by a large margin. Unfortunately, that was about 12 hours after the article is published, so this has already spread a long ways. But hopefully that interjection from Tesla implies a little bit higher of a number for solar roof installations historically. Of course, this article from CNBC just so happened to be published the day after a shareholder lawsuit against Tesla for the SolarCity acquisition gave opening arguments in pursuit of an appeal for a previous ruling that had gone against the lawsuit. All right, moving on from that, something a little bit fun here from Tesla today. They've got a new product that has launched in Europe. It is Gigabier. We heard about this when Tesla opened Gigafactory Berlin. This is a 5% ABV Pilsner from Tesla in a Cybertruck-inspired package. And Tesla says Tesla Gigabier is designed to emulate the form of Cybertruck while honoring the 500-year tradition of German Reinheitsgebot beer making. Tesla says this is a limited edition Pilsner brewed in Berlin with our exclusive strain of cyber hops and notes of citrus, bergamot, and sweet fruit. Each bottle features a seamless gloss black sleeve with a glow-in-the-dark Giga watermark. This is 89 euros for a pack of 3, so it's not the cheapest beer you're ever going to buy. Might be the most expensive. And unfortunately for many of us at this time, it does seem to only be available in Europe. All right, last couple of things for today. This gap has been closing for a long time, but Elon today officially becoming the most followed person on Twitter with 133.1 million followers, moving just past Barack Obama at 133 million. So congratulations to Elon for that. And since we didn't talk about anything else from Elon on Twitter today, now's probably a good time to do that. He did tweet out that Giga Mexico will have the lowest water usage per car of any auto factory in the world. Probably no surprise to those of us that have followed the company closely. All right, lastly then, we've got a couple of pricing updates from Ford and from Porsche. Ford has issued another round of price increases on the Ford F-150 Lightning Pro model. This is what is supposed to be the sort of commercial or work truck that originally started right around $40,000, but has now had 4 significant rounds of price increases, with the most recent one happening now, bringing the price from just under $58,000 up by $4,000 to just under $62,000 now. So it's a pretty sharp difference in a pretty short period of time. Obviously, Tesla has faced some criticism about similar things over the years, and we'll see what happens with Cybertruck, but given the financials that we have seen from Ford, it's much harder to see how this was ever a realistic target for them than what we've obviously seen transpire in the financials for Tesla. And then also bucking the price-cutting trends is the Porsche Taycan. They have, according to the recap here from Drive Tesla Canada, increased prices on what I believe is all trims of the Taycan by about 4 to 5% in the US and Canada for the 2024 model year. So not the most price-sensitive category, obviously the Porsche brand very much at play, but that does make the comparison with a Model S that much more difficult. All right, that is where we'll wrap it up for today then. As always, thank you for listening. Make sure you're subscribed and signed up for notifications. You can also find me on Twitter at Tesla Podcast, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Friday, March 31st episode of Tesla Daily. Thank you.